Good evening, love. Good evening, light. Good morning, good afternoon, whenever and wherever you are, because it's always now. It is once again divine grace, gratitude, honor, and appreciation that you are joining our journey of joy today as we share with you this cup of inspiration for today. Happy August. Happy birthday to all you August birthdays, including
That's
someone else I know. And so thank you to all of you for new beginnings and sharing your new beginnings with our new beginnings. Great French press. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So I just wanted we wanted to take a few minutes today and say, hey, we're hoping to get back to the waterfall today, following our excursion to the water facility to grab our spring water. So here's a much better view of the bottle and kind of where it's located in the state of Alabama. So with that, reminding everybody to every day place your blessings in your water, your gratitude in your water, your visions in your water, and let it go, knowing that is always done, and then drink your water. I always feel like I have to do a light language blessing too. So we didn't get to bless the do a blessing right there at the water. We had to kind of scoot out of there. So
You couldn't really see.
You can't really see anything unless
they were loading up a whole bunch of water in trucks.
Yeah, so everything was kind of blocked. And anyway, as you could probably see the truck in the video. So anyway, we didn't get a chance to do the blessing right at the scene. So, but we'll be there again. But anyway, it's just a little building, really. There's nothing really to see. But it's the idea of all of us remembering to the power that we have in the blessings of our water, and when we bless the waters of the earth and the sky. So, we're very excited, first of all, to invite all of you to our a light language activation hangout live. It's been a while, actually, I'm tongue-tied. It's been a while since we've actually, Dave and I have done anything live, actually in a Zoom with all of you participating. So yeah, we're really excited to do that. It's been quite a while since we've had the opportunity to have others in the room and share it on live on YouTube. So and to have all of you as a part of the room and sharing your energy, your love, your light languages. If you just want to come and leave your camera off, that's fine too. To just be with us in the energy. If you've got anything that you'd like to share, questions or comments, and your excitement. And actually, I'll let Dave. Dave's been so diligently working on setting up events on the website.
Well, yeah, so you have to go to Wendy's languagesoflights.com website and register for the event to get the Zoom link. And it is available for anyone that wants to come in, but we're not going to give out the Zoom link through the YouTube chat. So if you want to participate, you need to register with us, and we're going to have a lot of really cool announcements to make, and we plan on continuing to do these kinds of things in a new and improved way also. That I think a lot of you are going to prefer.
Well, and actually it is a culmination of what people have been asking for, and now that we've kind of come through a wave in our own life where we're a little more settled and able to plan things and schedule things a little bit more frequently and regularly. And so yes, we're very excited to start adding new private events also. So there's going to be a lot more and more of that coming up, where many of you have asked for closed events that are not publicized on YouTube, where we can get together in a Zoom room in a private event, and embrace our community, to interact with each other in a way that allows us to be present and not concerned about being on social media, just being ourselves in our own sacred space, as we call it, of course. And so it allows so many of you who have expressed the wanting for more of that idea of gathering in a place, and where it's not broadcast anywhere, yet we're able to kind of let our hair down. And so we're going to be doing a lot of fun kinds of private events, and so yes, there will be membership options coming up soon for different types of membership events in that will only be members only events. That's what I got to say. Workshops and things like that.
Just gatherings, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And as the interest continues, we will add more and more things, and we'll talk more about some of those things. We also have a Lionsgate
Yes.
on 8/8 event that Wendy's
I'm doing with Katie, my friend Katie. There's a video, which we can put the link to that video here too, that we did a little while ago announcing our event. It's this truly empowering activating our empowerment for this Lionsgate. And it's going to be very exciting. It's been a long time since Katie and I have actually also got to work together. And so that is also an event that actually Katie invited me to. So to register for that event is coming up on Monday. So
you could go to Wendy's website also under the events and click on the register button for the event, and it will take you to Katie's website to fill out whatever needs to get filled out.
Thank you. See, he's been working on these things, and he knows more about what's going on there than I do.
And some of you might have noticed that we did not have our live event with Jonathan this past week.
Yes.
He had something that he
needed to reschedule it. So
that is going to be...
That's going to be on 8/22.
8/22.
So we're pretty excited about that. So we thank Jonathan for, rescheduling the event. And so that'll be exciting too. And the date's kind of fun too, 8/22/22.
And that will be on YouTube also.
Broadcast live.
We'll be Zooming with Jonathan, but that's not an open Zoom event.
But we will be taking the questions.
We do ask that you also register on the website, same place, to get the. You'll get a link to the YouTube event, but that's going to be just a live.
It'll be posted anyway.
It'll be public, probably within the next day or so. We didn't make it public.
Not yet. Yeah, that's coming up.
So you could set your reminder on YouTube to come for that. But if you do want to pose any questions to Jonathan, he will be channeling at least the Ayel, he says. And we have no expectations, so who knows what will happen, and that makes it more exciting. But if you do have particular questions, we do ask that you post them on the registration page. So once you register, which is free to register, you will be able to join a group where you could post whatever questions you want in the group forum, and that will be a central place that I could look and gather all the questions and make sure that we get to all of them as best as possible.
And you can certainly ask questions in the live chat during the broadcast.
And you can, but we're not going to rely on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, it wasn't working properly,
it's just
to put questions in ahead of time.
Yeah. So if you have questions during the broadcast, I'm going to be looking at that.
Yes.
But if you know that you have particular questions, if you post them in YouTube before the event starts, because it's a live event,
Yeah.
the live comments sort of start disappearing.
It's really odd.
Because there's actually not a live event going on.
Going on yet, so-
the pre-live event comments start disappearing. And fortunately, the last time we
were able to copy them.
Yeah.
Dave copied them, so we didn't. And
yeah, as soon as they came in.
As soon as they
But
came in,
if
but-
you go back, they disappear.
Right,
And
it
they
was
also
strange.
disappear for the viewers. And then
Right.
they think,
that
we deleted
deleted
them, or
it,
they
and
got
so
lost.
so yeah, it was a little crazy. So we're like, okay, so if you want to post questions ahead of time, yeah, please do register and post them in there, and then you get to interact with other people inside the group too, who are want to talk about the event.
Yes.
And we'll be and Dave's been actually setting up, I think, groups for each of the events as well. So all of our events, and also becoming a member. That allows us to interact more intimately with all of you. And
So the few people that did register for it, when we rescheduled it, they got an email automatically
Right.
with the new information.
letting them know that the schedule was changed and that it was updated. So that's another nice part about being on the website and then you'll get the automatic updates.
And for us, it makes it really easy because we just change the date of the event, and the computer says, "Would you like to notify everyone?" We say
We're like,
yes, and that's it. So I'm a computer programmer, so I can do all these things. But right now we're using the tools that are already available to us to try to figure out how to make all these things better. And at some point, we're going to be rebuilding an entirely new website.
Yeah. Coming soon.
Based on all these ideas and the practicing the things that are available now, what works, what doesn't work, what might be available that might be better, what I might have to design myself to make it work. And of course, if anyone out there listening is interested in having a website done for them or needs help with their current website, I could certainly help with all of those things. And a lot of the things that Wendy and I are doing for her website will also be able to apply potentially for websites that you might want. So there are a lot of functions and functionalities that we feel can be done a lot better than most of the currently available systems out there.
Or at least make the most of
And-
the ones that are out there
Right.
for those.
So we're having a lot of fun doing that.
Expanding our horizons, as we say.
Well, and a lot of a big thing too, and we weren't even going to talk about this, but
I know, really. We're just
the-
going to wing it.
coming from a higher consciousness, spiritual point of view, and how we want the world to be in our own experiences and the world that we want to be on. It's not. We're finding that the normal way of doing business is not how we want to do business, and we really prefer to not even have a separation between doing the thing that you love and the business itself. So of course all the systems that are in place are more tailored to the idea of doing business, and so many things are sort of workarounds to get
Right.
it to work how we prefer it to work. So it's inevitable that as the frequency of the world increases, these kinds of changes are going to be required. So we're always ahead of the curve with those kinds of technologies and those kinds of ideas and concepts. And you might have found for yourself that you were trying to do something and you just couldn't find a way to do it because it didn't really exist yet. So that's part of the idea of creating the world that you want to be on.
Yep.
Is having those ideas and sharing them, and the right people, in this case maybe me, hears those ideas and is the right person to actually implement them. And then other people see them and they either want to come to me or they want to, copy the idea. But either way, the world now starts operating in a way that we
Yes.
prefer better.
And I am reminded, as you're saying those things too, that once again, we're not changing the earth that we're on. We're moving toward the vibration of the earth that we prefer. So when we make decisions, conscious decisions about who we want to work with and how we want to work, we literally create that vibration of like-minded individuals, souls, if you will, that collectively that we will become in harmony with on the new version of the earth that moment by moment by moment by moment, billions of times per moment, we're going through all of these realities, potential realities. So every time we have a positive thought, a vision, the idea of seeing it in its completion, that type of world. And so as we take those steps in that direction, each one of us, we're all moving to that vibrational version of Earth, in which we're working in more harmonic ways, in more holistic ways, and the day will come when it is our gifts and abilities that will be our currency, and really it already is. We just use a medium form of representation of those gifts and abilities.
So it's really cool because all the pressure is completely off with the idea that we're moving to the world that we prefer, and we've already done all of these things. So it's not really like we have to figure out how to do it. We just have to move to that reality, yes. And the how will just come to us. So it's from a programmer standpoint, and from the way I've always operated up until the last couple of years, really, I always thought I had to figure it out. And I was really good at figuring things out. And it turns out all I was doing was moving to a reality where I had already figured it out. And I just had to allow it to come out and be the vibration of enjoying the fruits of my labor without actually having to do labor.
And there's so many things that come to mind business-wise too, in that if we were all running companies, if companies were run the way we in our higher dimensional preference, people would be operating from the heart space, and that's the only place. And when you run a business of any kind that comes from the heart space, regardless of what the exchange of energy is, it will flow, no matter what. And I wanted to mention that too, that for those of you who are new to my channel, I've been doing this work because I love it for over 7 years now on YouTube. So there are over 1,000 videos of all kinds of things, light language activations and chakras and meditations and channelings, and because it's been my highest joy. And through that highest joy, I have had I lose the words to describe things. See, now you made me lose my train of thought. I have met, yes, the most extraordinary people, including Dave, and there's a whole birthday story behind all of that. One day, perhaps we'll share in a private hangout.
I thought we were going to make a movie.
Well, perhaps.
Who's going to star as me?
I don't know yet. At any rate, I have had such pleasure meeting so many of you, and the privilege of private, personal sessions with you over these last 7 years. and the excitement of continuing that work as well. And so just by sharing my joy without any insistence on where it was going to lead, and having no idea how it was going to be received, there were very, very few people speaking light languages anywhere.
Maybe it'll be your new favorite couple that could play us
Who?
in our story.
Oh, well, perhaps. Shh. So, see, you keep making me lose my train of thought. The pleasure of meeting so many of you, and you supporting me in my joy through private sessions, and regardless of the exchange. So, and allowing, and so the all the forms of gifts and exchanges that I have been so blessed to receive, and by giving and sharing the thing that I love to do the most, and so I wanted to thank all of you for all of your support in every way you have ever have, and continue to do so. It is in my deepest joy and appreciation to continue to do what we love to do, and do it in expanding new ways, and allowing me and myself and Dave to express ourselves in more and more ways, and to help all of you become more self-empowered, to operate from a place of authenticity and from the heart. And if light language is a part of that, or any of the messages that have come through over these last several years, if any of that helps anybody, then I know that me following my highest joy and excitement is the answer to having everything we need to do the way we prefer to do it, when we need to do it, how we need to do it. And we do talk about that. We were talking about it again today. So, and to know that all of us are moving toward that reality in which everyone has absolutely, well, that's a whole nother conversation, because we already do have everything we need to. It's about understanding that and perceiving that, and acting from that place of knowing that you already have everything you need to do, what you need to do, when you need to do it. And again,
French press.
no insistence on
I
where
already
it's
have-
going to take
I already
you.
have an agreement with the entire spiritual community that coffee is part of all higher frequencies and dimensions and realities.
Well, we were actually discussing how, and I know a lot of people don't like coffee, and a lot of people even just do not like it and never have drank it, or used to and don't, whatever the case may be. But we were talking about how how grounding grounds I thought that was funny too, how grounding coffee is, and yet we've all agreed collectively that it also contains the idea of upliftment, of waking us up. And I found that it was very interesting that we wake up in the morning, typically, or whenever we wake up, but typically we drink our coffee when we wake up, and we have been in we have been connected to our higher self and the multidimensions the entire time we've been sleeping. And isn't it funny how when we wake up, we reach for the thing that makes us feel grounded, so it sort of brings us kind of back to ground, and I particularly like it during that between waking and dream state, and just allowing the grounding and the uplifting to happen. And it is pretty amazing some of the things that happen in my meditations just by closing my eyes and sitting with my cup and grounding. So whether it's tea, coffee, or anything else, whatever works for you is what is for you.
Wait a second. It can only be coffee.
But
if it's not coffee,
we
it's
are
not gonna
talking about coffee here.
work. Nothing else works. I'm not buying it.
And we do like tea too, and water, of course. So, among other
No,
things.
I'm just joking. but I love coffee. I love coffee in the morning.
Yes,
and
we do.
And it's not the morning now.
And
I
we
still
sort
love
of,
it.
and we still love it. And actually, we enjoy a cup of
I'm
French press.
inspired by the coffee.
Yes, we
A
are.
cup of inspiration.
Inspired. There we go. A cup of inspiration. Oh, and actually, my cup is inspiring too. It says, "Think of all the beauty still left around you, and be happy." Oh, we didn't even know where we were going to go with this. Oh, so okay. So we've got
Oracle
our.
cards.
We're gonna. Yes, I was gonna pull some oracle cards for.
Surprise oracle card reading.
Yeah, to open up to just bust open this wide open Lion's Gate portal and get geared up for Friday. I'm really excited for you guys to come and hang out with us. Come chill out in the hang out in the Zoom room. And yes, if you don't want to be broadcast on live TV, please do still come. You don't have to turn your camera on. We would still love to hear your voice, feel your energy. But of course, we love to meet and greet all the beautiful faces behind all the names behind all of you. So, with that said, Niatove Sholo, la versono li atenki a shasele shata. Niatova. And we invite and appreciate and allow the guides stepping in to allow the perfect messages for all of us in this now through the oracle, which is another very exciting way that we can receive information, answers to questions. Sometimes the question doesn't come in the immediate moment of the card. Matter of fact, oh my gosh, I got it. That's a perfect synchronicity. I opened the deck and it was this one, the Earth Magic deck. The card on the top, as soon as I turned it over, was the dragonfly card. Just last night, I was in a hangout with Wendy and Susan, and they were channeling the Dragonfly Collective. So, and I had a story of my own about my own encounter with the dragonfly, and so it was a lot of fun. And just so I wanted to share that synchronicity that. First of all, that's how I knew that was the deck I was really supposed to use, because as soon as I turned it over, I saw that beautiful synchronicity. And of course, it put me right back in that energy of, the spirit, the nature spirits, and connecting with that, and how the oracle and light languages and water, how it all facilitates the connection and opening up these gateways that we have chosen collectively to utilize as powerful tools of ascension and empowerment, and really raising our frequency to a place where we think from a positive, heart-based state of presence. Okay. Dave's got his alien shirt on. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And that was another thing too. If we've been looking at a lot of people posting more and more, because of course, as we move our vibration, I am going to see more reflections back. We are going to see more reflections back of more and more people interested in sharing their extraterrestrial contacts, their UFO experiences. A lot more people are seeing ships in the sky. So the more that we put out that vibration together, and also by sharing your experiences, your dreams, I think we'll make a different dream video about that, which actually is another cool idea for a hangout, is exchanging dreams, because it activates more and more in each of us as we explore each other and share our dreams with each other.
A dream workshop.
And yes, a dream workshop. So that would be a lot of fun too. And I know several people are also out there doing dream workshops, and I think it's amazing.
How could we do it
Because
differently?
it's always going to be different because we're together, because it's our energy together. So it will always be wonderful and unique, however it is, and how many other people participate. It will be perfect in that now. So, and that's really exciting that we can facilitate that energy. And so the point is, if any of you wanted to share your dreams, with respect to ET-related encounters in your dreams, hybrid children, that we're actually excited about doing videos with people who want to share that, and so I think we'll probably do some hangouts maybe on Open Contact TV, and related to that, our ET experiences. So all of these ideas are always floating through our minds, and how can we have explore more and more with all of you as we know more and more about ourselves. So, and explore more and more, because really it is about knowing thyself. And the more we do this fun stuff together, the more we learn about ourselves, and the more we know about ourselves, the more we are confident and happy and joyous and in the energy of those who make us feel this way together and vibrate in that way, and take us all to higher levels of consciousness. So yeah, you can see I really love this stuff. So, I was inspired to use the Earth Magic deck by Stephen D. Farmer. And, well, isn't that funny? Because I was going to show you the back of the card, which I've shown several times, and either way, upside down or right side up, it tells a story. As above, so below.
And the bottom card just happens to be.
And I shuffled and shuffled before we started. The bottom card is the same as the cover. The tree of life. Source, us. Sometimes our perspectives are way up here, up in the leaves, and let's just say we're a leaf and we're floating up there, and we're, and we have no idea as we're looking around at all the other leaves, and some are leaving and some are leaving. I was thinking about the leaves. Some are dropping, some are growing. So there's always, at the top of the tree, always a new perspective, right? We all grounding. And it's funny, we're just talking about grounding, synchronicity, grounding. We're just talking about grounding. So I didn't even get to the grounding part yet. So I was like, we're just talking about grounding and coffee and grounding. It's like, okay, and the grounding card comes up, and the whole idea, and all of this is all gems up in the tree, and everything is there for us, everything we need. And yet our perspective, back to their perspective, my guides were showing me this perspective. I was literally channeling this idea the other day, and they were showing this to me. And so it's funny that this would come up now too, because it was a new energy entity that I've been connecting with, that I've been getting more of a feel for and with, and connecting more and more with in my meditation. And this was so now that's why I know that it's getting closer to them being introduced, because they're sort of showing me that now's the time to share that little analogy, metaphor, that literally that we're all this, they're all up at the top of the tree and floating around and sort of communicating with all of the other leaves, and yet branches are growing and falling, and all the leaves, the tree is always, 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 always changing, ever changing, moment by moment by moment. The tree is always, always changing. And the perception at the top of the tree, and all the leaves talking to each other, and that's all of us. What we forget is that the leaves forget all the way up here that they're connected to the same thing. They just can't see it. They can't see the roots beneath. They can't see that. They know it, but yet they can't see it. So they don't need to see it to know it. So it was like this whole download about that idea that we're all up here and we really don't really see a lot from that perspective. And we certainly don't see all the connections that we have.
We used to not see.
Now we are seeing. That is exactly what that's about. As above, so below. We are now seeing that it is the same. What we think is, what we believe becomes. Thoughts are things. We ground those thoughts into material world. So what are we thinking? And now we're remembering, yes, that we're connecting, and that we're always connected, have always been connected, and that we're still always connected, always. In our sleep, we're playing all this out at night. How many dreams have I had this week of being with so many of you and being with hybrid children and things that I want to share about those dreams and expand on that so that we can all help remember not only our connection to source, but all of the other siblings and families on the same tree of creation.
It's saplings.
So we're all growing little saplings from all the seeds of source, and we're all growing and we're all blooming and we all have different perspectives, and the tree is always changing, but it's still there. And even though we can't always see our roots, we're here to remember that we're all connected to each other, and that everything we have, everything we need. So really, it's interesting how just one card can bring such a multi-layer metaphors of consciousness, and then we think about the circles inside the tree, and as it grows, and it contains more circles and more circles. And I've actually channeled this information before about that idea of the way in which, as the trees grow and receive the information and store the information and share the information, not only with the earth, but with all that is, and how as they grow, the interactions change with us and the tree as they grow. And as they are always absorbing information from everything around it in its own experience. And as it grows, its experiences expand just like we do, which changes the experience of the tree itself, and it changes then the experience of everything grown from that tree. And also the understanding of dropping the seeds of your ideas, and then having them regrow as new life, new beginnings for all of us. And so these tree metaphors are timeless and always have been in the stories, as old as stories are, because there's always been this innate understanding about that idea, and that we can't breathe without them, they can't breathe without us, that it is always an exchange of energy, and an exchange of love and co-creation. Is there something you wanted to share?
Well, as usual, the majority of what they wrote, you already just said.
I love when that happens.
Well,
but again, it's timeless.
But I'll read the bottom section, and I haven't read it yet, but I'll just read it. You have been feeling scattered and spacey lately. You're not fully in your body, and that's because you've not been able to get grounded. This is quite literal in that your body is made out of the materials of the earth. So when you feel disconnected from your body, you are inevitably disconnected from the earth. So get yourself grounded. You can do so quite simply. With your feet firmly planted on the ground wherever you are, feel the etheric roots that extend into the earth. Follow your breath, that each time you exhale, you could imagine these roots going even deeper. Each time you inhale, draw up the loving, nurturing power of Mother Earth. As soon as you have the chance, go outdoors and sit with your back supported by a tree. Feel its solidness and integrity. It is simply being a tree. Breathe in the essence of the tree spirit and allow this to fill you up. Walk barefoot very slowly on the ground so you can maintain this connection. So,
And
of
the
course,
water.
also the idea that the roots bring water and nutrients to the tree, and it is grounded naturally, but it doesn't see the roots from above, yet it is, and it exchanges air with humans, provides oxygen. So all the things that
Very
you
funny,
had
that's-
already really said is what it talks about. But yes, and also just the idea of reflections,
Yes, that
That-
it
all of the other reflections are contained within.
and everything in nature is a reflection of us, so everything we see
So-
is a message, a reflection of who we are in some form. There was something else that had come to me.
Pick a card, any card.
I think I'm gonna grab one from the deck, the gateway deck. Okay, we'll do another one.
Maybe this
Wanna
one
do
I
another
can-
one? Is that the one you want? You pick a card. Here, you do it this time. This one? Oh, I love it. Like, okay, so this is another interesting synchronicity because this is another thing that we've been talking about. I was talking about today at lunch, actually, even. Celebration, dance. So, we are in the midst of this celebration of the alignment of Sirius, the Earth, the Sun in Leo, and Orion. It is a celebration of walking through the gate. Now I know I had to wait. See? Celebrating the walking through the Lion's Gate, dancing from our hearts. I have been thinking a lot about this whole idea about dance and movement and doing more of that as well. And with light language and expanding on that and expanding on light language and movement. And this is actually probably a really good idea for a private member thing where not everybody may be comfortable dancing and singing light languages broadcast on YouTube, but doing it together is very exciting in a way that we can really celebrate ourselves, dance with ourselves. Oh, and we just saw that video today of the couple, 91, he's 94, she's 91, just dancing like they were 18. It was so that I just remember that. So another synchronicity about, and these are confirmations and synchronicities for me too. So it must be for someone else out there too. Whether it's where are you being asked to dance, whatever way that means, and maybe that means literally turn on more music and dance every day.
How do you want to walk through the gateway?
How do you want to walk through the gateway? Do we want to dance and celebrate who we are, how we are, that we are?
Maybe she's just happy about coffee.
Maybe she is. Perhaps. And I just love it too. Anyway, I love the energy in the image. And so, and it reminds me too to stop being afraid to also express myself in these ways without being worried about what other people are going to think and what other people are going to say, and and every day we will see things related to this on social media about once we stop caring about what everybody else thinks, because there is nobody else in your universe but you anyway. You're creating them and your version of them. So expressing ourselves fully, there's nobody to be afraid of because you're only in the room with yourself. And even though we can't wrap our human minds around this really yet, that's where we're ascending and going through the gateway to do that better, to dance better, and in any way that dancing means to you, and stepping out. What steps? Where do you want to step out and celebrate who you are in ways that you never have before? And I got a really loud tone in my ear right now. So yes, a lot of people ask about that, about tones and vibrations in your ears. That is signs and synchronicities that you are connecting. You're connecting to your star families. You're connecting to your angels. You're connecting to information. You're connecting to infinite intelligence. And that they're responding to your vibration. So it's very exciting, actually, very exciting. So a lot of people think, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening? There's nothing wrong. It's everything that's right. It's telling you, we hear you. We're getting your signal. So, okay. Excuse me,
Dance
guys.
through the gateway.
Dancing is probably one of my absolute favorite things to do. In addition to singing and speaking light languages, dancing is like my favorite thing to do. So gateway. So as we walk into this, it's the mist, we're in the midst of it, the Lion's Gateway. I grabbed the Gateway deck by Denise Lynn, and the back of the card looks just like the deck. And water. Earth, air, fire, water. It's all contained in here, and it's all contained in here. And I did shuffle these a bunch of times earlier too, so I'm just going to kind of what messages do we need to hear from all of our guides present today as we share in this circle of life together, walking through this gate hand in hand, dancing, singing, light languaging, activating, empowering, illuminating. Soaring into joy, childlike wonder fills my life. Celebration, wild wonder. And I laugh because I've always, all my life, always said things like, welcome to Wendy's World of Wonder. And just because I wonder about everything. And I know Dave can attest to that. Why? So, soar into joy. We don't need to ask why, because we know. I saw that. With childlike joy and innocence, dance. What do we love best when we turn on those goofy reels on social media? Babies dancing, people dancing, TikTok. I mean, dance. Joy. Float into joy. Childlike innocence. Play from your heart. Live from your heart. Build from your heart. Build your business from your heart. Everything you do from joy. And that is one of our favorite words. Joy is the key. Thank you, Abraham. Thank you, Esther and Jerry. Joy is the key. And Dave says it all the time. I was always reminded about the word journey, and that literally the word journey begins and ends in the word joy, Joy. And so, joy. It is literally one of our favorite words. And the childlike wonder fills my life. When I go out and make a video looking at flowers and speaking light languages, that's my wonder. Like I could spend hours zoomed in on everything around me and discover an entire new world of wonder. I mean, and 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 this has been my expression here on YouTube all these years, for just because it was just such a wonder to me, the things that would happen and the things that I would connect with, and the tears and the realizations and the moving through fear and negative belief systems, and literally changed my entire life. It changed everything just by me following my joy, and allowing that childlike innocence of being in the trees, being in the snow, being in the sun, being in the farm fields. Everywhere I've been doing these videos has been a wonder for me. And it opened up a whole world to me. It opened up a new life. It opened up changes in me and expressions and expansion in me that I can only begin to share with all of you. Even every day, if I could tell you all the things I connect with in a day that just come like a water faucet, and it is such a joy and a wonder to me, and yet I will find myself asking why, and what does that mean, and what is the meaning behind all of this, and I need to know what this connection is, or what does it mean, and the idea of just letting go, being free, being in your joy, and just dancing, and that's when the magic happens. Absolutely. Okay, last card, guys. Good one. You want to do this one? Go ahead.
Receiving from the angels.
And what's this? The
Shimmering wings of angels embrace me with love.
Our angels are always with us and around us. Ask and it is given. Again, thank you, Esther and Jerry and Abraham. Ask and it is given. We're reminded that the answer is always at the other end of the question, that we already know everything that we need to know in every moment. The gift is the present moment. Everything is here and now. We know this scientifically. We know this innately. We understand now. Everything is one thing, connected. All of us sharing from a different perspective. And that we receive information more fully from our angels and our guides when we are just in joy. And what does the rest of that say?
Shimmering wings of angels embrace me with love.
So,
well, it makes me just think about the idea that
shimmering angels embrace me with love. I love just even
we're,
thinking about
we're
that.
always so loved
Yes.
from the higher dimensions. And really, it makes me just think about the idea that the you that you think you are here is really such a small part of the whole you, and the whole you is always part of you. And you're always part of it, and we are a piece of the infinite love that is available to us, not only from our own connection with our full self, but with all that is, and all the angels and all the other energies that are pretending not to be us so they can love us even more. And the love that you feel, and it's I don't want to reduce it to the idea of a permission slip, but for some reason, most people here in this reality on Earth, when they think of the angels and they think of the love of the angels and they feel the love of the angels, you could feel infinite unconditional love. And it's really just up to you to allow as much in as you think you deserve, because you can't even imagine the amount that you actually deserve. And it's sort of funny because I want to say Cryon talks about the idea of how difficult the higher realms understand the kind of experience that we're having, that we're putting ourselves into intentionally, that because we are doing it, they are benefiting from it. And also they don't have to do it. So just the idea of our contributing our experiences to all that is, which literally filters to all existence.
Everything.
That, of course, coming from a place of unconditional love, they have no choice but to love us. But it's more than that, because the kind of experiences that we're giving them, and even if it's just our deciding after however many millennia that we want to reach out to them, because they've been holding their hand out for as long as existence has been, and that we're finally reaching our hands out to them to accept their help, to be with them, to invite them into our lives. And this doesn't go only with the angels, it goes with all the creation.
I had to laugh because as you're talking, this card was flipped over, which was the one underneath the one I just communicating freely. I communicate from the depths of my being. We're always communicating freely with all that is, with all that we are, with the infinite number of parallel fractals that each and every one of us are. Constantly, always exchanging and communicating experiences and information back and forth across the cosmos, where there is no, we create time. We create the experience of time. We create our bodies. Our bodies are not in our consciousness. Our bodies are in our consciousness. Our consciousness is not in our body. And we are always communicating freely, just like Dave just said, with our guides, with the angels. They've always had the hand out. We're always communicating. And we're always communicating with each other when we're sleeping. That's when we know we're always communicating freely. And we have to do that. We're communicating with Source when we sleep because we have to. But the idea that we're constantly communicating with every fractal, an infinite number of fractals, and then and oversouls and oversouls and oversouls, it's so big for us to even imagine what infinite actually is.
Well, the idea that we're not is so ridiculous.
Exactly.
That even having that idea required us to be in this kind of situation, to have the creation of the idea of not being connected, of not always being connected.
We're so powerful, we're creating the experience of not being connected, of not being powerful, of being limited.
And apparently it's pretty difficult to
to
conceive of the idea of not being connected.
And there's a lot of people, I use that word loosely, but there's a lot of consciousness out there that can't even imagine how we could possibly believe we're disconnected to anything. It's just beyond their comprehension.
They don't believe it.
No, they don't believe it. They're like, who could possibly believe that? So it is very interesting, leaves on the tree, the perspective of where you are in creation and where we see. And I got a download this morning. I was reminded about, people are countries and countries are people. And the way we begin to operate is how so the reflection in the disharmony is a reflection of the disharmony that we're all moving through. And so when we become the version of that which we choose to prefer to become, the reflection is that the countries are the people are the countries. The country becomes the vibration of the people within it. It's that simple. And when we realize that, when we're constantly still fighting among each other and thinking we're disconnected and understanding that everyone's perspective is always going to be different, because we're all always going to have our own unique perspective of everything. 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 So once we accept that every single thing in creation has its own perspective, an equal perspective, peoples become countries, countries become people, become worlds. It is a microcosm effect of the idea that once you begin to accept each other, that everyone has a perfect, unique experience and reflection and perspective on everything, then you begin to realize, wait a minute, then why are we still fighting? And so people are countries, countries are people. And so it was like they said it over and over, and we're explaining the whole thing,
And perhaps we'll leave you with this idea to ponder.
Yes.
As you decide that you want to look at the things around you, like the other people, the countries, the government, the things that are going on that you don't prefer. If you are looking at that as creating a separation, then you're buying into the idea that you aren't that, and you don't have creational control over those things.
Right.
And you're adding it to your creational experience for those things to happen in those ways. If you start looking at all of these things as part of your creation and part of your reality without this separation, because the people over there that are doing something that you don't like, if you're not creating that separation and there are no people over there, they're just actors in your little play, and you're writing the script, and as long as you keep telling them that they're over there doing something that you don't like, they're going to keep doing stuff that you don't like. And as you get to choose the script, and pretty soon everybody's on the same page of the play.
There you go. Good one. Oh.
And in that there is no separation, because really, if they were separated, they wouldn't be able to follow the script anyway, because so it's impossible to actually have the separation, because if they were actually separated, you wouldn't know about them.
Exactly. That's very true. Well put. Well put. See, we're all channels, you guys. We're all channels of infinite information, and we all have access to it. We're all special, We're all amazing. We're all powerful. We just forgot. A lot of things that run through my mind that we could talk for hours. So, yes, I'm delighted to experience all of this with all of you, and by creating this we create something brand new together, and we are co-creators. We are masters of limitation. We literally are understanding we are creating the limitation, which means we are masters of that limitation. This is higher consciousness education, higher consciousness understanding. And as we beat our own drums and dance our own dance, we're literally creating higher consciousness music. We're creating a whole new level of being. And, well, I'll share that another time.
I'm really excited about seeing everybody
Yes.
Friday.
Yes, you guys, I'm really excited. Come join us, hang out in Zoom. And
We had to pick a day and a time, so hopefully everyone will be able to be there. And part of what we'll talk about is, are there better times? Are there better dates? And we certainly want it to be a cool, fun hangout.
Absolutely.
So, and we want people there, and we want to see your face there on video. And if you're, some of you who are uncomfortable
if you're a
with
little
that,
shy, it's okay.
we will set something up.
Well, yes,
So-
yeah, we're going to be doing stuff for
Yeah.
in private settings, and so we're really excited about that. And so, and for any of you who are looking to empower your light language, get activated, allow this Lionsgate powerful. I was looking for a different word that hasn't been used, but I can't think of it right now. So, if you're looking to bring out your own voice, learn to roar, speak your truth, activate your light language, and also be a part of the whole energy of the room, and express yourself and allow it to unpack itself in the perfect timing for you, in the way you wish to allow it to empower you. And maybe it's not about the light language at all. Maybe it's about allowing the light languages to activate and empower you during this Lionsgate, and especially this particular year as we move into this new age, in a new calendar, a new way of being.
The vibrations of our experience collectively are increasing dramatically
Snowballing.
at a very high pace.
Yes, it's snowballing.
And these gateways and activations, and even just hanging out and speaking light language to each other,
It's so
assists everyone. And,
Yes.
and grounds these high energies in
That's a very good way to put it.
allowing way
Yeah.
to fully take advantage of all of the energies being presented, and
Yes. And
creates
perhaps
a-
you wanted
a-
to just accelerate you. Create you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Create.
well, I was just going to say it gives you a path of ease and grace
Yes.
that you can choose instead of choosing, oh, the energies are really high and I'm not feeling well, or this has been a tough week because X, Y, and Z. You could look at it in a positive, uplifting, and with ease and grace way, and take most advantage. And it's
And Katie and I together are very
well, yeah,
powerful too.
So you could kick it off by hanging out and doing light languages on Friday, and then on the 8th,
Yep.
hang out with Katie and Wendy, and I will probably be there.
Yeah, Dave will be there. Probably
maybe-
maybe behind the scenes, maybe, but he'll be there.
Maybe on my phone
I'm hoping
separately.
that you'll be there to share light languages and
I will.
activations as well. So
I-
I'm hoping that as well, and also, you know, being that
I will be here.
we're in the
I
the
might not be
activation
sitting
mode.
like this.
So yes, it'll be very exciting, and even if you're a healer, a practitioner, energy practitioner, oracle reader on your own, allow these energies, allow these light languages to accelerate your personal growth, to illuminate what needs to light up inside of you to see your path greater and more clearly and brighter. And so light language has, and as Dave said too, when we're involved in this stuff, we have to remember too, it is a quantum response. So lots to say.
Also very exciting. As we step through the gate and allow higher frequencies in and acclimate to them, it'll be just in time to be able to experience the AL from a little higher place.
Yes, that's
and fully makes it easier for that transmission and exciting.
It is true, and the ability to actually increase your own ET contact and your own contact with your guides and other forms of entities.
So, absolutely. Very exciting.
So, yes, now it's dark and we're going to go. And of course, it's been a pleasure. It's always, we always get so excited. We lose complete track of time. So, thank you once again for being a part of our joy and our journey. And we're very excited to see all of you again very, very soon, Friday. So, nyatove shalohoso kandario sone. Lahanono on koyarin tayara shese. Mi anonoaka doviandora vashewa ela kashosovaya linkise. Sevishononiata iya no uarakashase. And this is all about opening our hearts more fully. Nyabondove shanokoa. Lasha ontoyaki savasonde shiante kayanana.
Natu aya kaane tia ua hane wa taane tua naana tua nateanata.
And remember, everybody, keep calm and sparkle on.
We love you.
Love you.